It's your boy Crypto Blood. What's going on, people? Good morning. Hope everything is going well. Today we have a special video. I am interviewing Pamelyn Chee. She's a Hollywood actress. Lives in LA right now, but she's formerly from Singapore, and she lived in New York a little bit as a young kid. But we're going to talk to her. She's really into cryptocurrencies. She is a Clif fan, and she reached out to me and said, hey, I would love to come on and talk about cryptos from a woman's perspective or point of view. So I'm excited to have her on. But before we get started with her, let's take a look at Marco's crypto Christmas countdown. This is day 19, people. We are almost through the whole month. So today's coin is what we've been talking about a lot in the Webbot room, Vert coin. Their symbol is VTC. Current price is $9.73. Marco's price was $1.06, and his gain is 822%, people. Amazing. So a little bit about Vert coin. It is a decentralized cryptocurrency owned by its users. The people's coin is what they're calling it. So it goes on to say, Clif said in October, the Lightning coin's data sets double in size by early February of 2018, and emotional tones more than double. Lightning and atomic swap space heating up. There are a couple of VTC wallets, such as Vertcoin Core Wallet. VTC can be mined, although it just came upon its initial halving since the first block 4 years ago. One Click Miner, OCM, is easy to use as well. So check out Vertcoin if you haven't heard about it. It's been in the media lately pretty heavily. It's a good pick, Marco. Appreciate that. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the show, people. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, ladies and gents, so without further ado, I do have Pamelyn Chee on the line with me.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for joining me today. It's exciting to see, females getting into this space, seeing that, in general, the amount of women in tech is pretty low. So it's even more exciting to see women in the subset of blockchain, and it just really is exciting. Are you part of the Webbot chat room?
I've been part of the chat room for a long time.
Okay.
I started listening to Clif, I think like maybe 2 years ago.
Sweet. Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about your background. Like, you're an actress, right? In Hollywood. You've got a new movie that just came out, I believe, right?
Yes. My film Beyond Skyline is out in select theaters in the US and also on iTunes and Amazon. And I believe as of today, we are #2 on iTunes.
Oh, wow. So how did, I think as I was doing some research, I saw that this is a sequel to Skyline, right?
Yes.
Okay. Were you part of that one or no?
No, the story actually takes place concurrently, and this is like a completely separate thing. And we added a lot of different elements to it. There is a lot more martial arts, and Iko Uwais from The Raid is actually the star of the show, and he has a lot of scenes fighting Silat with the aliens.
Oh, sweet. I practice a little Silat myself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. So that's cool. I'll have to definitely check that out.
Cool. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, for sure. There are many forms of Salat. So I don't know what form he's doing, but so you grew up in Singapore, right? So tell us a little bit about that whole experience. I hear it's a beautiful city or area, and I would love to know, and I'm sure my viewers would as well.
It's funny. Singapore is a very controlled country, and everybody listens to the government. So I think it's kind of crazy that we are now sort of like the crypto capital of the world. I mean, Quantum, when we say Go, and 10x are all like Singapore companies. I don't know how they can allow this sort of decentralization when they always aim to control everything.
It's probably because they're so behind, maybe, that they don't see what's going on beneath their feet. You think that may be it?
I think because they just want to make money, and cryptos are the new hot money. So they don't really think about the control aspect and how it actually frees people. And they just see all that money rolling in because there is actually no capital gains tax in Singapore.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm a big fan of OMG.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm glad that we've got a run up, right? It's like at $18 now. So I'm excited about that. So you actually grew up, though. You grew up in New York, right?
I spent a lot of time in New York, but I live in LA now.
Okay, you live in. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought you were still out in Singapore. So
No.
you're in there. You're here in the States. That's cool. So how did you get into acting, though?
Well, when I was 7 years old, I played a little dancing duck, and I thought that, oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe I shouldn't be a lawyer or a doctor like all Asian people like want to do, and maybe just be a dancing duck. And that didn't go so well because I didn't realize that it was so hard. Acting is hard. It's not the acting that's hard; it's the getting the job that's hard. It's
Right.
hard, and there's a lot of BS that goes along with that business. But I think that's slowly changing. I actually have a bunch of friends that I'm working with. We are working on a crypto-funded TV series called The Interface, and
Nice.
cryptos actually play a huge part as the background of this AI, like world, which is set 25 years into the future.
Okay. Nice, nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So are you guys doing an ICO like raise for it, or how are you funding?
Well, the people that are working on the project actually are very, very heavily involved in cryptos, and they are just making money off cryptos, and hopefully they'll fund this. They actually have a trailer out already and 3 comic books, which are selling pretty well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to drop that link.
I'll drop the link.
Yeah, for sure. I'll put it in the description of this video. So, as you got into acting, and what was I looked at your Wikipedia, and I saw you've been actually doing acting for since what, 2008? Is that right?
I've been doing it for a while. I think 2008 was when I did the Wayne Wang film called Princess of Nebraska. It was a lesbian story set in San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how did you even get that role? Like, how did that come about?
Actually, I had my acting reel on YouTube, and I played this really crazy girl, and there was a scene that he really liked from my reel, so he flew me down to San Francisco for an audition, and then I booked it, and then that just kind of like started the whole thing.
Oh, wow. Wow. So that was just kind of your lucky break in the whole thing, huh? So what about crypto? So how did you even get into this crazy world of cryptos? When did you get into it? When did you find out about it? Kind of give me some background on that.
Okay, so I started listening to Clif maybe like two years ago,
Okay.
and then he was talking about Bitcoin. But before that, I had already heard about Monero, and I was very, very interested in Monero because I didn't like anybody knowing anything about me. So I believe that if the coin is good enough for the drug dealers, then it's good enough for me because I
Yeah,
believe
that's true.
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
So I bought Bitcoin
Mm-hmm.
so that I could buy Monero. And then as I listened more to Clif and I did a lot more research on this, I realized that I better have a lot more Bitcoin than Monero. And eventually I sold all my Monero,
Mm-hmm.
and I am a Bitcoin maximalist holding way too many alts at the moment.
Okay. All right. So, like, I mean, so what is your favorite coin? Do you think that Bitcoin will last? Do you think something, in the future may eclipse it? Like, what do you think about the longevity of Bitcoin in itself? Not per se, not like blockchain, right? More so just Bitcoin, because that's the face of cryptocurrencies right now.
Yeah, but as I said, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, so I hope it lasts. But I think BCH probably has a really good shot at, being one of the top ones too. And also, I think PayPal at the moment is still really undervalued because the UI just came out and it looks fantastic. They're delivering earlier than PPT. So I'm thinking that it is entirely possible for PayPal to do a PPT or at least come very, very close to that.
Well, I hope so, because I have a whole bunch of PayPal.
I know,
And
me too.
yeah, that would be awesome. And again, today, PayPal, before we jumped on, I think I saw that like $2.50, somewhere around there. So it's doing well. I'm almost up 10x with PayPal.
Nice.
Right now. So yeah, PayPal is another good one in my opinion as well. Any other coins that you like?
OMG and actually I think Sub and Skycoin are good coins to look into. Skycoin is actually building a sort of like a decentralized ISP, and it was actually, I think, in one of Clif's earlier reports.
It was.
He mentioned it after that. But I've been trading in and out of Sky for like maybe the past year, and it is only trading on Cryptopia now. But the coin is obviously very manipulated, so it'll go up and down 20% a day. So if you can catch that range, you can actually trade it pretty much every day. But now it's sort of like going up like crazy too, and Sub is the new hot one. I mean, decentralized internet, I think, is the way to go.
Right. So I just actually reported on Substratum for the first time on my channel.
I saw that video.
Yeah, like man, I'm so excited about that. And really, like, to me, Pam, that's really where we'll get the real use out of blockchain technology, is seeing projects like that really change, it changes the whole game, right? It's what Clif calls, it's a rail instead of an actual train that sits on top of it. It's building the infrastructure. So I'm really excited about Substratum, and it couldn't be more needed, right? Because of this whole thing that's going on with net neutrality and the repeal being passed. So I mean, what are your thoughts about net neutrality in that whole situation?
Dude, like, I mean, MadeSafe has been trying to do this decentralized internet for a long time, and I actually put a lot of money into it, but it seems like they're not going anywhere. But Sub might be able to fix this problem, because we can't have a controlled internet, man. That's just not how it works.
No, especially if we have a decentralized currency. Why would we have a decentralized currency on a centralized, controlled internet, right?
Exactly.
It's only natural for us to we should have done that first, but whichever comes first and will be able to help us be freer, I think is just an awesome idea, in my opinion. So
I think actually what Sub has that MadeSafe does not have is that you don't have to change your URL. So if you're a business, you don't have to go like, for example, MadeSafe might have to facebook.com, but then I think on Sub you can just use your like facebook.com or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're right, and it's better than the Tor network, because you'll need like with Tor, you need an actual Tor browser. The URLs are all like hashed and stuff. So I think from what I've seen with Substratum, you're able to use your normal browser, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. The easiest way to adoption is the best way, in my opinion, with blockchain technologies. I think a lot of these ICOs won't be around, and even Clif has mentioned this, but I think because it needs too much adoption from the masses, right? We need technologies and solutions that can be easily adopted and have very low barrier to entry, in my opinion.
I mean, it needs to be easy for somebody like my mom to use, otherwise it's just not going to work.
Right. So as far as, because you're in the movie industry, right? I invested into this one. I knew it was a gamble. Haven't even heard anything from the team.
Live Tree. Is that Live Tree?
No, Zype. What about Zype? Did you hear anything about Zype?
I don't know anything about Zype. Is this some sort of like a fundraising platform or?
No, they're doing something. Well, they were, I guess, were doing something with the movie industry as far as using these tokens to give you gain that individual access to movies, premieres, and credits within the movie. The only reason I invested because it was in Clif's report. I can't remember which one.
I remember that now.
Yeah. What do you see? I say all that to say, like, what do you see as far as cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology doing for the movie industry going forward?
First of all, most movies don't make money, and a lot of indie movies don't get funding because people know that they're not going to get money. And like, I just don't see how these excuse me, these crypto movie tokens are going to benefit the investor, because a lot of these movies won't end up getting released or even like, you know, getting VOD. So then how is being an extra on set or getting tickets to the premiere going to benefit you? Would you rather just put your money in OMG? I think that's a safer bet if the aim is to make money. But I mean, if you want to support your friend, then sure, go buy the token, you know?
Right. So you don't really see any usage for blockchain technology in the movie industry, not per se, not so much like, you know, these ICOs and tokens, but like, do you see blockchain, the application or technology of blockchain being utilized within the movie industry?
So far, I feel like what they've been attempting to do is good for the filmmakers in terms of raising money, but it has not benefited the investor. And as of now, I can't think of a way that blockchain can serve the movie industry. Maybe somebody will come up with an incredible idea and an ICO that will, like, you know, change my mind. But as of now, I haven't seen anything like that.
Okay. What about like the distribution channels as far as how movies come out now? Is that something maybe we can see some blockchain
I think
application?
Library Credits actually is working on a sort of like a decentralized distribution platform for media, and I think that actually potentially could be great for especially a lot of content that is not mainstream or the studios don't want to produce.
Correct.
But I mean, I haven't heard much news from them, so hopefully they do well, and then that opens up a whole avenue for creative content to sort of like get on the internet.
Right. Yeah, I can see something like that being picking up some legs. What about cryptocurrencies in the future? What do you see in this landscape? Blockchain. Let's say 5 years, because 5 years in cryptos is like damn near 20 years in real life.
I know, that's
right?
like a century.
Right. So what do you see cryptocurrencies doing and blockchain doing in 5 years?
I think it is the new future. Even my mom is in Bitcoin. My dad, I just got him
wow,
my
that's great. Yeah.
So here's a here's a funny story. About 6 months ago, I told my mom, listen, don't put your retirement money in the bank. You know, it's just gonna sit there. So
Yep.
why don't you buy some Bitcoin? And in 6 months, if you don't make back your capital plus 10%, I'll personally top up whatever money there is. So, and then you can decide if you want to sell it or you want to do whatever with it. And after this, the fork happened,
Right.
and Bitcoin price sort of went nowhere. I was like, oh shit, man, did I just try to do something really stupid? But after that, everything recovered, and now she is like so much like, she's so up in her portfolio that she said, oh, I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin. This thing has a future. And she sold all her stocks at a 50% loss because she now understood that that's bullshit, right? We have to get into the future currency, which is Bitcoin. And she got all her friends who are completely not tech savvy to buy Bitcoin.
That's awesome. Yeah, my dad, I believe my first video on YouTube was me driving to my pop's house. He finally said he'll, put some money in, and I mean, it took all my might and power to get him to put $5,000 into Bitcoin in April, and he's at $30,000 right now.
Nice.
In his portfolio. So He sees it now. Now he's really wanting to put more money into it. So I'm going to be helping him hopefully this week to get more cryptocurrencies. But yeah, it's just a blessing for many of us to see this whole thing transpire so fast as well. It's happening so fast.
It's unstoppable, man, because like my mom told her friend tells her friends, and then this thing just becomes like
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk a little bit about, because I know in your email you were interested in talking about like women in tech and really so more specifically women in cryptos. So do you see in your circle of influence and your peers, I know you talked through in the email that a lot of your friends or co-workers in the Hollywood space really don't get it yet. So kind of talk about a little bit about that.
Well, every time I go on a shoot and I'll see like designers or like tech people, and I'll be like, "Hey, do you have Bitcoin?" They're like, no, I'm not aware.
Wow.
I mean, that's like sort of like a standard answer. I mean, this was probably like about 6 months ago. Things might have changed, but people are in general very wary of things they don't know. And I can't be the crazy one telling people buy Bitcoin, because
Hmm.
that's not the environment that that's a work environment. So I sort of try to keep it separate. But the thing about women in cryptos, it's kind of funny because women naturally like shopping, and
Hmm.
they know when a good deal is a good deal. And if
Hmm.
they only knew how much fun trading cryptos was, I think they'd
Hmm.
be like so into it. But it's just sort of like there is a barrier to entry. They don't really know what it is. So if there is a sort of like a simplified way of like exposing them to this new world, then a lot more women would actually get into cryptos.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's probably more, like you said, there's a barrier entry or a barrier for them to enter the space. And it's probably because they don't understand the need for it, right? They probably, most people, and not, it's just not women though. I have to say this. Most people feel like um, the current monetary system is fine. They don't understand, like they know there are issues, but they don't associate it to our monetary system being, I would say, a bulk of our issues, in my opinion.
I think if your mind is not open, then you don't see the holes.
Hmm.
Just like if you didn't start listening to Clif High, you wouldn't understand that all these things which are okay in your mind are actually huge problems. And once you take that red pill, that's it. You're out of
Yep.
the box.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got I don't know if you can see this, but I've got an
Yeah.
infographic up here that kind of goes through some really some profound statistics on women online and social media networks and so on and so forth, and in the workplace in tech. And honestly, women really dominate online for social media. So they're at 55% of women or users on Twitter are women.
Mhm.
55% of Facebook users are women. And then it goes down, it goes on to say that 56% of women in holding professional jobs in the US, that's the current percentage of that. But where it kind of turns the other way around is in tech. So if you look at the tech breakdown, okay, here we go. So it says here that among all students holding BS degrees in computer science,
Mhm.
there's only 28%. And then we have Harvard sophomores who declared computer science in 2011 was 41%. So I mean, it's growing, but there's still, room to grow as far as the diversity. And you being, you're a double minority, a woman and minority ethnic woman. That, how does that play a role in your career and in you talking about cryptocurrencies? Do you think that has any effect on it?
I think I've always been sort of like the outlier. I'm always outside the system, and I don't think like how everybody else thinks. So that's where I exist. And as for women in tech, I mean, tech is very boring to most
Mm-hmm.
women. And I personally, if I had not gotten into cryptos, I would have felt that tech was really boring too. I would have rather spent my time doing something else. But I think it is only with knowledge of the system that you realize how this is sort of like so revolutionary. I think this is the most peaceful revolution we've had in a long time. Cryptos is a peaceful revolution, and I am excited about change. I am all about changing the current system.
So you bring up peaceful revolution, and I agree. Up to this point, it has been shockingly peaceful. It's a little scary, in my opinion. So I'm wondering do you feel that as we grow in the crypto community, as more and more people leave the banks, they start withdrawing their deposits, and the Federal Reserve, all of the different Federal Reserve banks around the country, they're monitoring money supply, all these things I would say on a weekly basis, if not real time. I don't know, I don't know how sophisticated their systems are, but do you feel at some point we're going to hit that that threshold where almost like what they call that Minsky moment, where everything kind of goes down from there for cryptos, and governments being kind of peaceful about it? Do you think that is going to be something that we see in the near future?
What do you mean by it goes down? It goes down for the banks, or it goes down for the people?
Yeah, just more so as far as their policy or attitude toward cryptocurrencies. Right now it's positive. Do you see a Minsky moment when that turns from positive to let's shut it down, let's lock it down, let's get people out of cryptocurrencies as much as possible? Do you see that in the US?
I mean, you have to ask Clif. I don't have the Webbot. Oh, I don't know. I think it's entirely possible, but there's just so much money flowing in, and from what I understand, governments are all about making money. So at the point where they can't make money off this anymore, they will probably try to stop it. But as of now, it seems like, it benefits both sides.
Yeah, I actually feel like we're going to see the governments really start to ramp up and be more aggressive about trying to lock this thing down and eliminate it. I just feel like they're behind the ball, and they didn't take Bitcoin seriously the first 9 years. I know when I would, 5 years ago when I kind of got into the space, yeah, they thought it was like play money, funny money. It was nothing that really, they were concerned about. But when you have a technology as such, it can grow exponentially. And really, I think that's where we are right now. We're really growing at a pace that I think the governments are going to really start to change their opinion about cryptocurrencies. And with that being said, I'm just curious, I just want to know, like, what are the price ramifications with that? Like, the value of cryptocurrencies in general. I sometimes worry about that,
You think it's going to crash? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think not anytime soon. So people who are in now, I think are fine. In 5-6 years, we should, I can see Bitcoin at 500,000, $600,000 a token. So a crash from there, yeah, I can see, it being hit hard. But individuals that are in now,
stop it though, because by that time, I'm hoping that Sub and Skycoin will be up, and then everything is decentralized over the internet, and people don't have to go back into fiat, so they just spend their cryptos. How would it be possible for them to then clamp down on it if they don't have control of the fiat?
Just passing laws. They won't be able to stop it, like you said. I made a comment in a video the other day about cryptocurrencies and how people can possibly think about cryptos, and you can kind of compare Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies to, I don't know if you're familiar with like BitTorrents.
Yes.
Okay, so it's similar to that, but money. So there's no way for them to really truly clamp down on it, but they will scare, I think, a lot of weak hands out of it. And if they come down on it to the point where they're legislation that I don't know what would pass, but that will suck out a lot of the institutional money from being able to purchase and trade in it. So that would make it would be a huge hit for Bitcoin there. But that's only in price. Not long. It wouldn't even, I think it'd be more of a hit to the price of Bitcoin, not so much the functionality of Bitcoin. That will never go away, in my opinion. Yeah, the cat is out the bag, in my opinion, about decentralized, ledgers.
I think it's really like too late to stop it or try to kill it. It's just think it's like a tsunami that never ends. It just keeps going.
Are you familiar with Hashgraph?
I actually don't know anything about Hashgraph.
Okay, check out Hashgraph when you get a chance. It's basically like a newer, think of it like as blockchain 2.0. The way that consensus is created, it's a unique, really, I believe actually it's the future. So definitely check into Hashgraph and that whole concept of how Bitcoin or how blockchains will possibly work in the future. I think you'll be interested in that.
Cool.
So was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Actually, yeah. I'm on Slack a lot, and people keep giving Trader Boss from Snippy's channel like a lot of shit. And I actually saw half an hour of the third class of Trader Boss's video, and he does have a lot of good information. I know that the sales pitch was kind of like iffy, it's like the free seminar he did, but after I saw that paid training video, I was like, well, this guy knows what he's saying, and he's actually a good person, and he cares, and he made some pretty good calls. So I just wanted to put it out there. I did not buy the training video. I am not like affiliated with Snippy in any way, but I just wanted to say that this guy has been getting a lot of bad flack for no reason.
Oh yeah, probably because of the way it was all put together. Like you said, I don't follow. I'm of course, I didn't sign up for the trading platform or whatever either. But I would say that anyone who is looking to learn how to trade, it's a process. It takes time. You won't get it in. I was saying this the other day. You won't get it in a month or 3 months or 6 months. It takes. It's almost like what can I compare trading to? Learning how to be proficient at math, right? That's what I would compare trading to. Math, being good at math. You can't study for a math test. Like if you just kind of slack through the whole semester or year in math, you can't go home the night before the exam and like you would with maybe social studies or anything else where you can memorize things really quickly. It's one of those types of things where you have to practice it, and over time, that memory muscle kind of thing, you start to develop that sense for it. So I really suggest a lot of people stay away from trading. I've been seriously, I've been trading for 12, almost 13 years. It's you got to be a special type of individual, and you have to be resilient in your endeavors to be a great trader. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, I haven't, I've seen a lot of slack and a lot of heat thrown toward Trader Boss, and like I said, from the outside looking in, I can understand why people were saying that. But then I did a video about trading, because I don't know if you follow Silvertooth. Do you follow Silvertooth?
I've seen some of his videos.
Okay, he kind of had some things back and forth with Trader Boss.
I saw that video.
Yeah, and so I kind of did a video about it, and I think so. I made some statements about how I felt about trading, and someone said in there like, "Hey, that's what Trader Boss was saying. He's saying the same thing you're saying, like diversify and make sure you do this XYZ." I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's good. That's good that I'm hearing that. So yeah, that's great. Let people know how they can catch you on social media if you do.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Pamelyn Chee, and I believe my name is right underneath my little box.
Yes, it is. All right, and again, tell us about that new movie out, Beyond Skyline.
Beyond Skyline is an Asian invasion movie mixed with martial arts. We are #2 on iTunes, so please remember to go catch it and let me know what you think on Twitter. I'll be really happy to hear your comments.
Nice, nice. And are you you're in the, you may not want to share this, I don't know if you do or don't. Are you in the Webbot chat rooms on Telegram?
Yes, I am. I'm also in a lot of Slack groups of various different crypto channels.
What I like to do at the end of my interviews, it's just a tradition I kind of started when I first started doing interviews and stuff on the channel. I like to ask people 3 random questions.
Okay.
And just give me like, well, these questions will be one, I'll give you 2 options. You just tell me which one you prefer. So okay. The first one, you being kind of growing up in New York or whatnot, Yankee fan or a Mets fan?
Oh, I don't even watch baseball. I'm Asian. I don't understand what the fuss is. I'm sorry.
You got to pick one, Yankees or Mets. Come on.
Okay, Yankees, because I've been to the stadium.
There you go.
That's all I can say.
All right, all right. So Canon or Nikon?
Canon. I have a Canon camera. It's a really good camera.
Okay, all right. Leonardo DiCaprio or Will Smith?
Will Smith, man.
All right. Well, again, Pamelyn, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Crypto Blood.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you in the Webbot rooms, I guess.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, peace.